My name's Imran Nuri. I'm the founder and CEO of the 52 Million Project, a 501c3 nonprofit going after a long-term vision of engaging 1 million people and donating just $1 a week. And when our donors give $1 a week, it goes to a different nonprofit fighting poverty every single week. This week's beneficiary is the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio, or FAO, who is set to receive over $1,200 from us thanks to our 604 active donors and counting, and a matching gift from Nancy Lammers and Pete Sanderson. Now, on top of that, FAO has an ongoing matching campaign, which will match our overall gift to make a total donation of over $2,400, our largest gift to date. With us here today is Megan Wanzig, the Vice President of Communications and Programs for the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we're so excited to have you today and also to support the FAO this week. I mean, it's just incredible work. And one of my favorite parts about doing this podcast has been in allowing our supporters to hear or watch the enthusiasm and the passion from the leaders of the nonprofits we support directly, which is just unparalleled. So without further ado, tell me more about the work that FAO does and why you're so passionate about it.
Sure. So the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio is a regional community foundation focused on serving the 32 counties of Ohio that are part of Appalachia. And really at the heart of our mission in this work is creating opportunities. So really looking at the ways that we can create more opportunities for communities throughout Appalachian Ohio and the people who call them home. And we do this through a number of different ways, but really thinking about how do we invest in our communities, in their nonprofits, schools, community organizations, through grants, through scholarships, and through partnerships that can really focus on issues of importance to the region.
That's incredible. Yeah. And I know that when I was going through your website and learning more about what you all do, I was shocked by how much there is. Like there are so many donor advised funds. There's so many different areas to support. And I know we'll get into that in a few minutes about the multitude of different ways to support and areas to support. But on those lines, within FAO, we are supporting the Emergency Children's Items Fund for the Hocking Hills Inspire Shelter. So I'd love it if you could tell me more about the impact that our overall $2,400 donation has for both that shelter and more specifically that Emergency Children's Items Fund.
Absolutely. So that project is one that's featured on a new online giving site at the foundation called Cause Connector. And really the idea behind that is that in our region of Appalachian, Ohio, we have what we talk about as a philanthropy gap. And so there are 9 times fewer philanthropic dollars to invest in the work of our nonprofits and our communities in our region of the state than in the rest of Ohio. And so that means there are fewer dollars for grants, there are fewer dollars for scholarships, there are fewer dollars for things like the Emergency Children's Items project at the Inspire Shelter. And so Cause Connector has really been designed to help connect folks like those who are part of your initiative who want to make a difference with their gifts with projects on the ground that could use their support, whether that's to get started or to grow the good work that they're doing or to try something new because there's a new need in their area. And so what the Emergency Children's Items Initiative is going to be doing at the Hocking Hills Inspire Shelter is really focusing on some of the most common and most pressing needs that the Inspire Shelter sees in the children of the families who they are helping. And so it really, these dollars will range from helping with clothing like socks, and we all know how quickly children grow out of their clothes, new clothes that they need, to things like diapers or wipes or over-the-counter medicine that children need while they are with their families in the care of the Inspire Shelter. And so it's a really important project. It's one that will help them have really an ongoing ready supply of these items for as children need them, but also have the flexibility to be able to invest in the items that each individual child who is with them needs over time. So it gives them the ability to do both of those pieces at the shelter in Hocking County. So it's a wonderful project that you all have chosen, and it's going to make a really great difference for a good number of children who are with them. And particularly over this past year with the pandemic, the work of shelters like the Inspire shelter has been challenging because of the need to really look at what these new, what the precautions need to be around the pandemic, but also all the more important because of all of the effects that we've seen from COVID-19 as well.
Yeah, it's such a challenging time. And I know that when I was talking to Nancy about why she felt so passionate about FAO as well, something she had said, which I think struck me, and I'm sure will also strike a lot of our listeners or viewers, is that a lot of us go to Hocking County to vacation or to hike, but when we leave, those problems still exist. And so it's almost like the right thing to do for anyone who visits to also pay it forward into that community and make a difference that way. So I have one last question for you, and I'm hoping you'll talk a little bit more about Cause Connector and those 5 pillars that FAO has here. But how can someone listening or watching at home do more to support your work?
Right now with the initial launch of Cause Connector, I think everybody has an amazing opportunity to be able to go on and visit at causeconnector.org. They can learn a little bit more about the Emergency Children's Items Project, but they can also really search from essentially a catalog of projects from across our 32 counties. And as you mentioned, from across our 5 pillar areas. So as someone comes on to visit the site, if they have a favorite county, they could go look for Hocking County or Morgan County or Gallia to see what's happening there. But they can also look and say, gosh, I'm really interested in seeing what projects are on here in the arts or in that are serving the environment. I want to find something that serves an educational need or a health need or a community development one. And they can sort projects that way and then start to really learn a little bit more about these different efforts and see where their gift could make a difference. And I think what's so wonderful about Cause Connector is a new platform, and what shares a lot of the same roots with the work that you and your members are doing is that each of our gifts does not need to be a large one. We can still lift up a large project, a large budget through something like Cause Connector, because our gifts are going to pair with the gifts of so many other people. And so it's really the power of what we can make possible for children who need basic needs at the Inspire Shelter, for all of the other projects on Cause Connector when we combine our gifts together. And so I think that that's something that people should find exciting, that no matter what amount you might be able to give, it can make a really great difference through a project on Cause Connector.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. It's the power of coming together, and I think that in addition to that, it's the power of knowing exactly what your dollars are doing to support people in need, and that's amazing. So I encourage everyone to go check out Cause Connector. It's causeconnector.org, correct?
That's right. Yes.
Perfect. Causeconnector.org, an amazing platform and an amazing way to change the landscape of philanthropy, and all happening right here in Ohio. So thank you so much, Megan. And thank you again to each and every one of our donors who are empowering a different nonprofit fighting poverty every single week, just like the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio. We're extra grateful to have Nancy and Pete matching this week and having FAO match the overall gifts, which is just incredible. If you're not already a donor, go to 52millionproject.org to start giving your dollar a week. But thank you again to Megan, and thanks again to the entire FAO team.
Thank you. And thank you to all your donors too.